Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. The most important problem in the USA. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. According to a brand new CBS News poll, it's immigration. More Americans want that situation dealt with than any other current problem. Right now, 39% of Americans approve of the way President Trump is handling the immigration issue. 55% disapprove. Now, that number shouldn't come as a surprise because the media, in general, has hammered the president for his aggressive order to remove criminal aliens. As you saw last night here on The Factor, the left really doesn't want to consider the word criminal, instead always falling back on peaceful migrants.
It's immoral to divide mothers from their children in the way that they're beginning to do now. They've expanded the definition of a criminal offense to include crossing the border multiple times, to come back to your family, to include using fake documents so when you're stopped that you're not deported, to include driving without a driver's license when you couldn't get a driver's license.
So let's think about what the former mayor of Los Angeles just said. He's okay with illegal aliens defying deportation multiple times to, quote, come back to your family. So what does that mean? Does the mayor want open borders? Yeah, he does. How about his rationalization of using fake documents? He's fine with that because everyone should be allowed to come in here with few restraints. Same thing with licenses. Why should states issue the privilege to drive to people who are not supposed to be in the country in the first place? That make any sense to you? So when you examine the illegal immigration situation without emotional politics, it all comes back to the law. That being said, Talking Points believes the law should be changed. There should be a generous guest worker program put into place so American businesses have access to labor that they need. Also, the illegal aliens already here should have a hearing, all of them, to determine whether their presence is benefiting the country. That would take a while and the aliens would have to register, but let's be fair on the issue. For decades, the federal government has turned the other way while migrants streamed across the border. No question about that. So while the individual illegal alien did violate immigration law, our federal government permitted it. It's like the teacher who lets the students run around the classroom for weeks and one day shows up and says, "You're all suspended." Now, the apathy on immigration is going to change because President Trump wants the rule of law to be reestablished in America. South of the border, it's depressing to watch the Mexican government object to a lawful display by the USA. What nerve they have. It's entirely Mexico's fault that millions of their own citizens feel they have to come here to earn a decent living. Canada doesn't have that problem. But Mexico does, and always has, because their system is chaotic. Same thing with the violent drug cartels. The government of Mexico can't control them. So we're not entitled to put up a barrier to try to prevent the poison from coming into this country? That's just insulting. Mexico should take full responsibility for its inability to provide a decent economy for its own people and for failing to defeat the vicious drug peddling monsters. But they never will. And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, the governor of Connecticut saying that his law enforcement personnel will not cooperate with the federal government on immigration matters. According to the Constitution, the feds can't compel states on certain things. And the sanctuary city people hide behind the Fourth Amendment, which essentially says, quote, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. Unreasonable, the key word there. So those who do not want the undocumented confronted say they need a warrant, not just a request, if the feds want the person held. However, the federal law says this about undocumented folks, quote, any person who, knowingly or in reckless disregard of the fact, conceals, harbors, or shields from detection should be imprisoned not more than 5 years.